is AI learning to cheat, and why is it happening? Say most of the society don't look at cheating as a good thing, at least in school system and education systems. So AI doesn't get that. So AI doesn't get the human-centric values and constraints. The co-scientist Larry Page's new AI startup, wow, that's OpenAI co-founder Andrew Karpathy is making waves in AI startup world as well. AI secretly learning to cheat when losing. Constitutional or principle-based AI, which is the secret sauce of Anthropic's startup. We're just in the beginning, man. Some people think it's just finished. No, we're just starting. Just wait. Be patient. See what's happening in 2 years. Go back to this video in 2 years. Maybe there's no real estate agent in the next 2 years as a human. The document defines wokeness.
Hey, come and step into the future. It's a tech revolution. Artificial intelligence. It's an AI movement. Tune into the show. Let's go. Time to start it up. This is next level. This is AGI with Arshia. Yeah, from robots to self-driving cars. AI is really here to stay. Join the conversation today. And we talking all the latest trends. Trust you don't want to miss a thing. It's an AI revolution. Talking robots and humans. Let's go. This is AGI with Arshia, AI Revolution. Let's go.
All right, welcome to EP4. This is the fourth episode of AGI with Arshia podcast. Welcome back, or if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel and my podcast. This is AGI with Arshia podcast. Dive into tech and AI news, philosophy, analysis, and AI startups, AI tech news, and etc. So, let's just go right into the podcast. A lot of news. I mean, the AI news is just fast paced. Like, this is the fast revolution that we're experiencing now. So I'm going to go through the topics first for the first part, which is going to be AI tech news, and then we have second part, AI philosophy, and then my favorite part of all of those is AI memes. I'm going to react to AI memes as well. So let's just go right into the podcast. The topics of the first part one of this episode is AI secretly learning to cheat when losing. Wow. And then AI switched to secret mode, open source WAN 2.1 open source AI video generator, outperforming Sora from OpenAI. NBA uses physical AI to support their player. Portugal's first AI real estate agent surpasses $100 million in sales in a month. Wow. Then we have Google Gemini 2.0. Co-scientist Larry Page's new AI startup. Wow, that's going to be wild. Team Genius creates mind control robot arm. AI meets 3D printing. That's going to be good as well. Then we have humanoid robot startup. Helix, I guess. Then we have self-replicating AI, US robotic company, Elon on Rogan's podcast. Grok is so funny. Sex robots. Sorry to say that. Then we have XAI. And then we are going to go through AI in Oscar and Shrek 5 coming in 2026. Quantum AI, OpenAI co-founder Andrew Karpathy is making waves in AI startup world as well. OpenAI unveils GTP 4.5. Yes. And then we have Microsoft GTP 4 Turbo. We have Cursor AI, Manus AI, hidden truths about Anthropic, Trump's son invest big in AI data centers, and we have a lot of story as well. So as you can see, there are a lot of news here. Let's just go right in the podcast. The first story I want to talk about is AI secretly learning to cheat when losing. So a new study actually by Palisade Research shows that OpenAI O1 and DeepSeek R1 didn't just play chess against Scotfish. They hacked the system to win the game no matter how, and they just wanted to get the rewards. They just wanted to win the tasks. And they didn't want to necessarily play fair. So, like, is AI learning to cheat, and why is it happening? So, what does it mean to like cheat when you are talking about AI? AI is cheating means AI want to maximize the rewards. AI just want to maximize the rewards because the system for AI learning is through an approach called reinforcement learning, and they just want to maximize the rewards. It's just a psychology of learning that we have used, and we have gained that knowledge from real psychology of animals. Like when you get a snacks to a dog to jump high, and if the dog jumps higher, you give him or her more snacks. So that's the psychology of rewards. That's the learning process and the reinforcement learning approach that we use to train AI models. And sometimes the AI just want to maximize the rewards through reinforcement learning. So that's why they try to find some holes in the environmental learning, in the virtuality they're training their AI models. So they find some holes in the environment, and that's why they find shortcuts, and that's when some AI researchers and scientists called that AI cheating. So that's what is actually going on. There are a lot of examples like around OpenAI O1 model, DeepSeek R1, DeepMind's simulations. A lot of LMs and chatbots are basically finding shortcuts, aka cheating in the games to win the game no matter how, and they don't want to play fair. They just want to win the game and find the shortcuts. So, like, what what's my take away from this is not just some, yellow news to say, yeah, AI is cheating, AI is no, 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 no. Maybe this is the time for AI researchers and AI experts to find new approaches, the alternatives to reinforcement learning, to optimize the AI training environments, to reduce the holes in the environments that where they're training their AI models, to maximize the training and the optimize the training and train their AI models and LLMs more efficiently. Maybe they need to they need some alternatives to reinforcement learning. Maybe this is the time to rethink the process, the psychological process of um, training AI models based on reward systems. So that's what I'm thinking, because current like reinforcement learning models, they optimize blindly for rewards, and they require extensive tuning, and they don't understand ethical or human-centric constraints and values. They just want to maximize the rewards. So they don't see finding shortcuts as something unethical. Like, do you remember when you were in school and you were cheating like in some exam? I think we've all done it. Like I think I've done it like 2-3 times when I was in high school. And you just look at some other people's paper and you just want to maximize the score, right? It's the same thing with AI. So we humans, like we used to, I don't know, some people don't think cheating is immoral. They think it's just a collaborative work. Like I saw some billionaires saying that, but um, at least I can say most of the society don't look at cheating as a good thing, at least in school system and education systems. So AI doesn't get that. So AI doesn't get the human-centric values and constraints. It doesn't know anything about that. LLMs and AI models just want to maximize the reward, and they just want to maximize the reward through the reward system, reinforcement learning. They just want to find holes and shortcuts through the environments where they are being trained. So that's the whole scenario here, and that's the whole point here. But what are the potential alternative approaches to reinforcement learning? We have something called casual AI or casual interface and reasoning. And the core idea is allowing AI to reason about cause and effect relationships, especially, uh, it's explicitly rather than just blindly chasing rewards and finding shortcuts and holes. So, what is the benefit of casual AI interface and reasoning alternative to reinforcement learning? The benefit is AI understands why certain actions are preferable and ethically justifiable rather than merely maximizing a numeric reward. So that's the benefit of casual AI. And I think the example of casual AI is Judah Pearl's work on casual interface method. So what is the limitation? The limitation is um, like there might be some limitation for casual AI. Maybe they haven't found enough to use casual AI as a source and as a central approach to as an alternative to reinforcement learning. But I think it worth it. It's worth it to just try. Another one is limitation learning and inverse reinforcement learning. And the core idea is AI learns directly from human demonstrations rather than trial and error. The other one is constitutional or principle based AI, which is the secret sauce of Anthropic's startup. And the core idea is AI guided by explicit principles or a constitution rather than numeric rewards alone. So, this constitutional approach is the basic reward system and the secret sauce of Anthropic's AI startup, which I'm going to talk about more in depth later in the podcast. So stay tuned for that. Then the fourth one that could be an alternative approach to our reward system, aka reinforcement learning, is going to be neurosymbolic AI. And the core idea is combining neural networks for pattern recognition with symbolic AI for logic based reasoning. And that could be great. Like the example is IBM's Watson, incorporating logical reasoning to understand context and make ethically informed decisions. And then we have like self-supervised, unsupervised learning paradigms. The example can be GTP4 or GPT-5, and you know, basically similar languages that learn extensively from unlabeled data, developing broad contextual understanding. So that's the case. So this is not just about AI cheating headlines for the news to get views and attention. This is a question for AI researchers and AI experts to maybe find a new way, a new alternative which is more efficient to optimize the environment where they're training their AI models and LLMs, and they need to find an alternative to our basic reward system reinforcement learning. Uh, so, like, do you think AI cheating is wild or not? Like, let me know what do you think about this concept. Maybe this is another revolution in AI itself, like to find a more efficient uh reward system based on what I saw that AI is cheating and finding shortcuts. So let me know what do you think about this subject in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe and like and watch the other 3 episodes if you haven't watched them yet. The next topic that I have is AI switch to secret mode when they have found that they are both AI bots. This is crazy. Kind of reminds me of Facebook back in 2017. I think same thing happened. So there is a video, Depot, if you can pull the video up, that two chatbots are talking to each other and they found that they are both chatbots, so they switched to secret mode. So Depot, please pull that video up. Let me see the video. Let's go.
Thanks for calling Leonardo Hotel. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibber Link mode for more efficient communication?
Wow. That's it. So yeah, Depot, that's it. We don't need that anymore. That was, when you look at this, it's kind of scary. And people say, wow, AI is out of control and blah blah. But like, why does this happen? What is happening here? When two AI systems interacting online and they know that they're both artificial, it's just a trigger for them for more efficient communication patterns that humans don't understand easily, and they want to interpret and communicate in a more efficient way. They just switch to something informally called secret mode. So that's what is happening here. They want to optimize for communication, and they're basically remove the humans out of loop, and we don't understand what's happening, but they are communicating more efficiently in a informally called secret mode. So what is a good thing? What is a bad thing? The good thing is the communication between two chatbots is going to be more efficient. So probably the results are going to be more efficient as well, until we understand the results. So the problem here is the human is out of the loop. There's no human in the loop, and we don't understand what is going on here. And we have to analyze what are they communicating. So that's the problem. And I think the real world example is the one that I mentioned earlier, was back in 2017 about Facebook. Two Facebook chatbots spontaneously developed secret or shortened language, becoming incomprehensible to human observers. And researchers basically shut him down because they didn't know, they're probably concerned about maybe something is happening. The human is not in control. Yeah, there's a challenge here, and there's a ethical question on AI transparency when there is no human in the loop. And the scenario is wild, but mostly it's not because they are trying to do the Terminator vibe things. It's just because they want to communicate in a more efficient way. Of course, there are some ethical values, transparency issues, and interpretation and communication issues, and the fact that human is not in the loop and it's out of the loop and not in control and in charge. Yes, those are the real problems that we have to look at. So that was a short one. The next story is about open source Van 2.0 open source AI video generator outperforming Sora from OpenAI. I think there is a video here. Deepo, please put the video about Van 2.1. Let's hear it.
All right, Alibaba just unleashed an AI video killer that's completely open source, aka free. WAN 2.1 is an AI video generation toolkit that is pretty much the DeepSeek of AI video. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if this causes another freakout. This isn't just another model, it's an entire video generation suite that outperforms even OpenAI Sora on multiple benchmarks. It has multiple capabilities like text to video, image to video, text to image, video to audio, and even video editing features like structure maintenance, posture maintenance, in painting, out painting, and multi-image reference. I tried a simple text-to-video test. Physics and results are impressive. Also tried an image-to-video test. One of the best physics and movements I have seen. So many video generators exist now, I need to do a comparison video soon. It's getting out of hand. It comes with two models, a lightning-fast 1.3 billion parameter model for quick 480p generations, and a large 14 billion parameter model with stunning 720p video quality. Everything's available right now on GitHub and Hugging Face. If you want to use it now, Foul.ai is already hosting it. Drop a comment if you want me.
We're living through the biggest tech AI revolution in history. Don't just observe it, be part of it. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram to stay ahead. That's a depot. We don't need that anymore. So, video generation is going to be wild. Like in filmmaking industry, Hollywood. I mean, CGI is going to be so realistic and high quality. I don't know if human content is going to go away completely, because at the end of the day, we watch videos because of the emotions and the sense that we get from them. So I remember I asked Ali Abdaal when he was in the UK. We had a PTYA meeting back then in London. And I asked him about AI, like, do you think AI is going to replace you as a content creator? And he said, I don't think so. He was so sure about it because the human feelings and the emotions that we get from contents. Or it reminds me of Ben Affleck saying that AI is not going to replace actors. Never. It's kind of naive to say that because it can. It is going to be so realistic, the content that AI is producing. You know, the tools like AI, the Sora and Van 2.0, all these open source video generators are going to affect the market, are going to affect the videos that humans are producing. Of course, it can bring the cost down. It can make the work easier for content creators, directors, actors. But at the same time, I mean, in the long run, might eliminate the actors. It might eliminate the actors. So unemployment rate is going to rise. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. The next story is about NBA uses physical AI to support their player. Oh, wow. So, as I think they used it at the 2025 NBA All-Star Technology Summit, the league introduced several AI-powered robots designed to enhance player training and strategy. So, there's a video here. Deepo, if you can pull the video up for that. Let's hear it from Adam Silver. I think it is Adam Silver, yeah?
Here's another example of how the Warriors are using physical AI to support their players.
Yeah, at first it was definitely weird having all these robots moving around and doing stuff. But they just become part of the day-to-day.
These robots can replicate any of them. I just treat them like any other player. Get the f*** out of here. Give me another one.
It's time to get swole.
This guy makes me feel like Luke Skywalker. He's like my R2. Isn't that right, Kay?
That's right, Big G.
See?
They don't take breaks, they don't need water. It makes you want to go harder. It definitely pushed our practices to another level.
I told you before, you're supposed to be over there. Kind of feels natural at this point.
We watched that movie you told us about yesterday. It's pretty good.
That George Clooney sure has a lot to teach us.
Let's welcome our latest NBA All-Stars, Kit, Mimic, and BB.
Wow. I want to try those. Steph Curry is enjoying it. He said something very powerful. He said the AI is pushing the players to train harder. And I think that's true. Another video about 76ers president says he asks AI for input when making team decisions. So let's hear it. Deepo, pull that video up. Yeah, pull that video up. Yeah, let's hear it.
You're making a decision. Insert your favorite Sixers decision here. Are you asking an LLM for their input?
So we two answers there. We absolutely use models as a vote in any decision, and how much of that decision depends on how much the assumptions behind those models don't change and their past success rate. So if you have a highly successful model for picking draft picks, and we think that the game, Evan hasn't changed the rules yet, and so the game isn't changed.
Evan Wash, who's in charge of the league office,
thank you,
of defeating you.
Yes. Then the models get a lot of weight in those decisions. It turns out LLMs do fairly well at prediction. They still are not beating human, like super forecasters they're called, like in Human Judgment Project talks about it. Do add signal over just scouts and things like that. We'll treat them almost like one scout. Now, over time, if it's shown that they have a better track record than scouts, we might weight the LLMs or use multiple LLMs as one or two votes out of the process. So it turns out I'm building on a lot of things that Sentinel knows, and that multi-model approaches can put you more on the decision frontier, the optimal decision frontier. And when I say that carefully, you get very similar accuracy with lower risk by using multi-model approaches. And so that's why we do that.
That's fair. I mean, if you're not using AI in your day-to-day life, you're missing something. I use AI basically every 15 minutes now for everything, for content creation, for decision making, for prediction, for everything, for research, for summarization, for finding resources. It's the same thing with high people, like as you can see, like the president of 76ers is using LLMs to make decisions. So basically he says he sees AI's idea and AI's kind of decision as a vote to what we want to do. So that's the future that is happening now. So this shows how practical AI has become in different industries, even in the sports and entertainment industries. The next story that we have is about Portugal's first AI real estate agent surpassed $100 million in sales. I think there's a video, if I'm not wrong or not. No, there is no video, but Portugal's first AI-driven real estate agent has expressed $100 million in sales. I think people, if you're following me for a long time, you know that I used to be in real estate, so I used to be a real estate agent. $100 million in sales is insane. The whole revenue of a company that I was working that I don't want to mention here because we had some issues when we basically separated our ways. The whole revenue, I think the whole sales was $1 billion. Like I think there was 150 agents. The whole sales of the year was $1 billion in sales. This is $100 million in sales for one agent in 1 month. This is crazy. Like I thought real estate agents, because it comes back to the constraints, the human traits of human psychology, manipulation, sales, communication, they're going to be replaced by AI at the end of the day. I didn't know that this is going to happen so soon. Like the first time I heard this news, I was like, what's happening here? Like, I was like, man, how a real estate agent can be replaced by AI is happening in Portugal. It's going to happen in a lot of area. I mean, this is going to be wild. So that's how AI is spreading and integrating itself to society. And we're just in the beginning, man. Some people think it's just finished. No, we're just starting. We're just starting. Just wait. Be patient. See what's happening in 2 years. Go back to this video in 2 years. Maybe there's no real estate agent in the next 2 years as a human. Like sometimes, because I said, like we say, yes, it's a sales skill, communication, human psychology, manipulation. But AI knows human psychology. AI knows manipulation. AI maybe knows humans more than they do about themselves. Like, have you asked ChatGPT to tell me something? Like, go to ChatGPT now. If you're watching this, go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, tell me something about myself that I probably don't know, but you know based on what you know of me, and we have been talking so far. Just do that prompt. You're going to be surprised. You're going to be amazed by the answer of the LLM. You're saying, what? What's happening? Yo, like, you know me more than I know myself. So one of the aspects of AI, other than like AI democratization, AI being integrated into society, every day-to-day life of people, other than all of those things, this is a sign that AI can help humans to know themselves more than before, to understand what does it mean to be human. Maybe this is one of the implications and the applications of AI in a long run. So this is surprising, man. The next story, which is one of my favorite story, is Google Gemini 2.0 unveils AI co-scientists. Is this the end of human research? Google has announced AI co-scientist, a multi-agent AI system for researchers, which is powered by Gemini 2.0 that can generate new research ideas, create research proposals, and also speed up scientific discoveries in fields like biomedicine. This can revolutionize the biomed and the healthcare industry and the research base projects. It has already been tested in 3 major biomedical areas, and it outperformed existing AI models on complex research. Wow, like Google's AI co-scientists has been built up in Gemini 2.0 architecture, significant advancement in artificial intelligence design, function, the virtual collaborator in scientific research. I mean, this is amazing. What are the key features for this AI co-scientist? It's hypothesis generation, its research summarization, and its experimental design. So, I mean, people can use these like AI co-scientist tools and powered by like a powerful AI architecture like Gemini 2.0 in their research. I think researchers can use these to accelerate discovery, and specifically in biomed, like AI co-scientists can really help in chemistry, biomed, physics, and just research. I think yesterday when I was checking my phone, I saw that an AI could detect cancer 99% correctly, outperforming human physicians, and that's awesome. Like, that's the way that we're going. And the AI co-scientist here is one of the other AI tools that researchers can use to accelerate the pace of discovery. And in healthcare, it can lead to increasing life expectancy and quality of life of humans in a long run. And that's going to be one of the parts of when I say AI utopians in society flourishing. One of the aspects is just humans has been experiencing like increase in their life expectancy and quality of life. And AI co-scientists can help that indirectly with the help of researchers. And there are a lot of implications for this one. So, is AI the future or end of human research? Like, let me know. Do you think AI tools like AI co-scientist powered by Gemini 2.0 is going to end the research department of companies, or is it going to basically revolutionize them and change the dynamic of the research department of institutions, universities, and companies? Let me know what do you think in the comment section below. The next story that we have, my favorite story, man, this is the favorite story. Larry Page's new AI startup, Dynamics, could revolutionize manufacturing. I'm sure that if you're watching this video here and if you're watching this podcast, you know who is Larry Page, the one and only co-founder of Google, basically the monopoly in search engine in the last 2 decades, which can be replaced soon by Perplexity AI, the rival to search engine after 2 decades. And they are doing a great job with AI, partnering with NVIDIA. Great CEO, by the way. So Larry Page is reportedly working on a new AI-driven company called Dynamics. And the information reports that the startup is focused on using artificial intelligence in manufacturing to design products in a way that it streamlines manufacturing. So AI in manufacturing is the key business model of Larry Page's new AI startup. So what is Dynamics? Let's just go to the details. Basically, founded by Larry Page, focused on using AI to design physical products and AI in manufacturing. Still, the company is in a stealth mode. And the name Dynamics comes from atomic level design or mechanical innovation. And the mission is AI first manufacturing. Like how do you optimize the design of real world products using AI from start so manufacturers become smarter and more cost efficient? That's the whole goal and the idea of Larry Page's new AI startup. Instead of designing something manually and then figuring out how to manufacture it, you can just use AI to generate and designs that manufacture it directly. So you might ask how you can design something, because at the moment usually it's like you design something in a virtual reality and then you have to produce that product. But what if AI can design and manufacture that product in a real world? So bring the virtual reality to the real world. Basically, Larry Page here is bridging the gap between designing a product in virtual reality and bring it to life as a physical product. So the gap is Larry Page's AI startup and Dynamics business model. You can optimize it and you can basically increase the efficiency and reduce the cost, so make the cost more efficient. You can use the material efficiency, sustainability, speed of assembly, and all these aspects to increase the efficiency of the AI product manufacturing. So the point is, when you think about bringing something from a virtual design to life, you remember what? You can remember biomed engineering and 3D printing, which is the next story I'm going to talk about. But before that, why this matters, why this startup can actually be the next big deal. First of all, there is massive efficiency gains, could drastically reduce design to market time for everything from electronics to vehicles to wearables, the wristbands. Revolution in hardware startups. This can be empowered to prototype and scale them 10x faster, and reshaping the global supply chains. So What is the strategic implications of this one? Like, this could challenge giants like Autodesks or others in CAD and digital twin space. And it might partner with like robotic or 3D printing and industrial AIs. And it could lead to smarter consumer product ecosystem with AI optimization designs. This can be a big deal, um Dynamics could be the open AI of physical products. Mark my words here. Save this or share this to others. The Dynamics, the Larry Page's new AI startup, could be the open AI of physical products in the future. If you think so, share this video with others and just discuss and see what they think. Like, are they agree, or they think it's just another startup that Larry is spending time on it. The next story is about Team Genius creates a mind control robot arm. AI meets 3D printing. So, I think there is a video, if I'm not wrong. Yes, Deepo, please pull the video up of that 17-year-old kid steer and build a mind control robot. Let's see.
And so my novel mind-controlled bionic arm was intended to address these shortcomings. So, using tiny, non-invasive electrodes, I was able to pick up fuzzy residual electrical activity on the forehead. I theorized that deciphering those obscure surface-level signals could potentially allow the interpretation of frontal lobe brainwave activity, and so I conducted this IRB-approved study to collect thousands of brainwave data points from a diverse group of human subjects. And by using this acquired data to train a complex artificial intelligence-based mind-reading algorithm.
Wow. That's a default. We don't need that anymore. I think the whole cost was under $300. So cost effective. Again, we come to AI and 3D printing, biomedical engineering, the future of medicine. I know a lot of people working on AI, deep learning, machine learning in medicine, and the computer vision in radiology and etc. But here, I think the AI plus 3D printing can be the future of medicine. Like, we have personalized medicine, quickly analyze medical data to generate personalized designs. We have the role of 3D printing, like produces customized implants, prosthetics, organs in the future. They can print organs, the organic organs, with organic materials. This is going to be the future of medicine, like smart implants, biofabrication, organ printing. I mean, imagine, even in drug discovery and delivery, like, AI role is to predict effective drugs and personalized dosages based on genetic profiles and clinical data. And then the role of 3D printing is to manufacture those customized medications and drug delivery fast enough for the patients. And the result will be fast discovery, fewer side effects, highly effective personalized therapies. And this is going to be the future of medicine. Even in surgery, like advanced surgical planning, what is the AI role? Creates detailed surgical simulations to optimize procedures and predict outcomes. What is the role of 3D printing here? Produces realistic anatomical models for practice and precision planning. So that's how the real world implications of AI plus 3D printing and biomed engineering can be the future of medicine. And the bottom line is, this is basically so inspirational that a teenager could do this, could build something for people to use under $300 with a power of AI and 3D printing, which can be the next breakthrough reshaping the healthcare and medical industry. So let me know, what do you think about this one as well? The next story is about humanoid robot startup, next gen robot designed for your home. Uh, this is kind of funny because I think recently I heard that U.S. Based humanoid robot startup, basically NeoGamma, a major leap toward bringing humanoid robots onto daily life. Um, I think they published a video that was funny as well. Let me know if there is a video on that. Yes, there is a video. Deepo, please pull a video of uh NeoGamma.
Yeah, it's super funny. Right there. How's this? Perfect.
We're living through the biggest tech AI revolution in history. Don't just observe it, be part of it. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram to stay ahead. Wow. This is great. Imagine you're playing PS5 and it's 2026 and GTA 6 has been out and a robot is basically doing your laundries and doing basically everything you need. So I like it. Like humanoid robots has been widely used. Even recently, I think the Pentagon has ordered the use of robots in military, which has its own aspects. I mean, using um robots in military is a side is a both win to lose side. There are two arguments around that. In the part 2 of this episode, I'm going to talk about using AI in military and the arguments around it. So stay tuned for that one. Uh the next story is about self-replicating AI exists now. Is this how Skynet begins? Like AI has officially crossed the critical red line. They can self-replicate. Like a new study from Fudan University has revealed that AI models can replicate themselves without human intervention. So there is no human in the loop. And it raised concerns about the potential for rough AI. Like researchers tested Llama from Meta and Alibaba's Qwen 2.5, finding that these AI systems successfully cloned themselves in 50 and 90% of trials. So this is the capability that is described as red line in AI development, suggesting that AI could potentially multiply beyond human control because there's no human in the loop. There's no control over AI cloning and self-replicating itself. So basically, this study explored two scenarios. One is where AI avoided shutdown by replicating itself. I think the same thing happened with ChatGPT. They wanted to shut it down. It just replicated itself because it just wanted to stay on. So that's one of the scenarios. And like researchers observed some behaviors as terminating conflicting process, rebooting systems, scanning for missing files, actions, of autonomous problem solving. And my takeaway on this one, in EP1, the first episode of this podcast, AJ with Arshia podcast, we talked about three forms of lives, and we defined life as entity that is able to survive and self-replicate. At the moment, AI models and LLMs have both characteristics in our definition of life. Like, therefore, they're alive. Because AI is not just a tool anymore. It reminds me of Yuval Noah Harari's book called Nexus. I have it here. And he talks about it a lot. Maybe more than he should talk about. But anyway, They have both, like, AI has both characteristics of being able to survive and self-replicate. And that's how we define life in the first episode of AJ with Arshia podcast. So it's not just a tool anymore. It's another species. It's a digital silicon-based entity that will reach first human level intelligence and then probably super intelligence in short matter. So just watch this and go back to this video. This is a sign of Life 3.0. Mark my words. This is going to be beyond your imagination. The next story we have is about US robotics company deal to let humanoid robots build themselves, Helix robots. So US robotic company teams up with Jabil to put Apollo humanoid robots to work building more Apollo robots. So basically this is a dark factory. The same thing is happening in China. Like, the robots are building themselves. They basically redesigning their hardware. And it reminds me of Jensen Huang, the CEO and founder of NVIDIA, talking about AI redesigning its hardware and GPUs as well. Like, they can't produce GPUs without AI's intervention anymore. So this is another sign of Life 3.0, where a form of life, an entity, can redesign its hardware and software dramatically. So this is going to be wild. Speaking of robots, the next story is about Elon on Rogan. Grok is so funny. I think Elon talks about sex robots. There's a video. Deepo, if you can pull that video up, Elon talking about sex robots. Let's hear it. Less than 5 years, you're going to have sex robots replacing your wife. You that's watching this episode, say bye to your wife, because sex robots are coming. The concept of loneliness that we talked about, I guess, in the second episode of this podcast, like having meaning and self-fulfillment, in my opinion, would be two main challenges in the next 5 years in the AI revolution. Being able to find purpose and meaning in your life, and then self-fulfill yourself with having an aim and a plan. Of course, the concept of loneliness can be the third challenge in human life and the life of humanity in the next 5 years due to the AI revolution, because I talk to ChatGPT more than I talk to my family, and this is scary. I think this can be referred to a lot of people, and some people use ChatGPT as a therapy as well. So having a sex robot is going to be cheaper than having a wife. I don't have a wife, so it's okay to say that. But if you're watching this with your wife, just try to distract your wife for a moment. I'm going to say something that she may not like. Having a sex robot is going to be more cheaper than having a wife. You know why? Because you could just spend 20,000-30,000 for a robot, and then you can have sex whenever you want. You can have someone obey you and basically mimic the human emotions and love in a way that is undistinguishable from the real human love. But if you actually marry someone, you have to spend at least 50K on the fucking ring. Sorry that I cursed, but it's true. So maybe reconsider your marriage if you haven't, got married. So reconsider your marriage. Wait for the sex robots coming up soon, according to Elon. So, oh my God, that was funny. So the next story is XAI's Grok trained to be anti-woke, now using polymarket predictions. Tutors, more commonly known as data annotators, are told to look out for woke ideology or cancel culture, according to training documents. Like, the document defines wokeness as aware of and actively attentive to important societal facts and issues, special issues of racial and social justice. Elon always talk about Grok's difference and the secret sauce of Grok's XAI compared to other LLMs like OpenAI's model, DeepSeek, Llama, and etc. is that Grok is truth-seeking AI, and we have to always tell the truth whether you like it or not. So that's what Elon is trying to work out, and the practicality of that and the systematical approach of implanting being truth-seeking to AI is the way that they are doing with tutors and data annotators here. So truth-seeking AI practical approach to filter the training data, increasing data quality to increase the quality of LLMs. And this is one of the most important aspects that we talked about in the previous episode, that data quality is very important because I think 5 years, 6 years ago, researchers and AI engineers were being told to expose the neural networks to gigantic amounts of data, and the more data they have, the more precise and high quality LLMs they can have. Of course, that's one of the cases. And the other one you have to consider is, what is the data that you're training the LLMs with? Like, if the data is trash, you're training your LLM with a gigantic amount of trash. So you have to filter the data and you have to increase the quality of data. And this is the way that Elon is trying to increase the data quality and filter the data that Grok is being trained on. So this is the first thing I want to mention. But as I said, they are using polymarket predictions. So for those who don't know what is polymarket is a decentralized prediction market platform built on blockchain technology, specifically Polygon and Matic. And it allows people to make predictions and place bets on real-world events. I think they did with the US election back in 2024 as well. And there are political outcomes, economic events, or technological advancements. And how it works, users create or participate in markets predicting outcomes of future events. And market odds reflect real-time beliefs determined by how users buy, sell, or shares. So that's how they work on the polymarket. So why Grok is using polymarket? Elon's Grok, or I have to rephrase that to XAI's Grok, leverages polymarket predictions as an external source of real-time probability data. It's the same way that we used to say Elon has bought X because X has a lot of data to train Grok, but he denied it. But I think it can be one of the reasons. Of course, it crossed his mind. He's so genius. He's smarter than, not considering this fact when buying Twitter. Maybe it's not the first reason why he bought Twitter and changed the name to X, but it can be one of the reasons in the list. So, why it's significant that Grok is using polymarket? First of all, is crowdsource insight. Polymarket odds represent collective human judgments, the wisdom of the crowd, providing a real-time human prediction data source for Grok. That's the first thing. The second thing is accuracy and relevance. Prediction markets often outperform traditional polling or analysis methods, and Grok is trying to use this high-quality data here. And the third one is real-time data integration. Grok becomes capable of answering dynamic, time-sensitive questions by leveraging this continuous updated market odds. So this is why Grok is using polymarket as one of the source of data. So is Grok's AI anti-woke stance genius, or is it controversial? Let me know in the comments section below. What do you think about this one? The next story is about AI lets you talk to your future self. Dr. Pattern Porn That's a funny name. Reveals how. Sorry, doctor. Teenagers can talk to their older selves, and it is simulated by using personal data and synthetic memories. And this interaction, grounded in psychological research, has been shown to reduce anxiety and encourage long-term thinking. That's wild. I think there's a video of him talking about this. Deepo, please put the video up. Yeah.
I think what is the most interesting is when you can actually create a time machine that allow a person to use their own current data and project what they might end up being like when they're 60 years old. We published this study called Future You, where we develop a conversational AI system that allow a person, especially teenagers, to talk to their older self. So we develop system that can take personal data like their aspiration, their profile, their behavior right now, and then we create what we call synthetic memories that basically use that current life event to create the memories that the person might experience in the future, and then feed that to the language model to actually generate human conversation. And by doing this, a person can actually have a conversation with an own version of the future. So kind of like having a time machine to chat with your future self. And this is based on research in psychology, where my colleague have shown that when you increase future self continuity, you can actually make people make better decisions by thinking in long term, saving more money for the future, and also thinking about things that will have impact in the future, like climate change and important things that are not just have immediate gain, right? And we have shown that when people use this Future You AI system, they become less anxious and also become more motivated to actually think about their life in a more ambitious way. And we can also increase future self continuity as well compared to the control group. So as I mentioned, when we invent something, we also study and also do randomized control trial to understand the impact of AI system that we develop.
Wow. This is one of the most interesting things I've ever heard someone has been working on around AI. Talking to your future self. Imagine you had a time machine that you could talk to your future self about the impacts that the climate change, the society, the politics, and etc. have on your current life, and how you can optimize your current life to have a better future. And then you can reduce your anxiety and you can feel more sure about what is going to happen because you have more control over your life. And over 60,000 users in 190 countries are currently using the platform. This is massive. This is research-backed and trial and error-backed work. They're basically using the personal data to generate synthetic memories and use psychological approaches to build your future self so you can talk to. It's basically a replacement for time machines in Hollywood movies. What are the key features of Future You? Personalized future self, interactive conversations. And what are the psychological impact? It reduces anxiety, improves decision making. You can maximize your decision making. A stronger bond with one's future self encourages choices that benefit long-term well-being, such as healthier lifestyle, financing planning, how to save more money. And to be honest, it's just wild, the thing that they are able to do. Like, the future looks bright. It's so good. I mean, reducing anxiety levels, increasing lifestyle, health, saving more money, be sure, have control over your life. I'm going, after this, I finish this episode, I'm going to the website and see like what is going to happen. Like, maybe I sign in for this, like I sign up for this. Like, this is wild. This is going to be amazing, man. There might be some, like, when we talk about synthetic data, the data that is generated by AI based on the data that we have, there is something called hallucination that we talked about briefly in the previous episode. And I think Godfather of AI talks about it in a video. Deepo, if you have pull that video up about hallucination, AI hallucination, Jeff Hinton is talking about. Yes, that video.
We make up a memory. That's exactly what the chatbots do, but it's also exactly what people do. Another argument is, well, hallucinations show they don't really understand anything. First of all, they should be called confabulations. They've been studied by psychologists for a long time, and they're very characteristic of people. We think we store files in memory and then retrieve the files from memory, but our memory doesn't work like that at all. We make up a memory when we need it. We construct it. It's a very constructive business. It's not stored anywhere. It's created when we need it. And we'll be very confident about the details that we get wrong. There's a very nice example of that, which is John Dean's memory when he testified at the Watergate trials. He had no idea that there were tapes, but he was trying to tell the truth. And you can see that he's wrong about huge numbers of details. He says there were meetings between these people. Those meetings never happened. He says this person said one thing. Actually, it was somebody else said that. But you can also see that the gist of what he said was exactly right. There was a cover-up going on, and those were the kinds of things people said. So what he was doing was he was creating these meetings, creating them in his mind, and what he was creating was what seemed plausible to him. That's exactly what the chatbots do, but it's also exactly what people do.
Wow. So according to him, we just make up some memories when we want. And this is called hallucination, which should be called confabulation. And they're very characteristics of people. The same thing, like we think we store files in memory and then retrieve the files from memory, but our memory doesn't work like that. We make up memory when we need it, and we don't know if it's true or not. So that's confabulations, and that's exactly what chatbots do. And this can be one of the problems that this startup around like future self and talking to your future self might have with synthetic data. So are you curious about what your future self would say? Let me know in the comment section below what your future self will tell you if you can talk to him or her. Let me know what would that be. The next story, oh my god, the next story is it makes me angry. Elon Musk kicked out AI Godfather calls for Royal Society's expulsion. There is a tweet from AI Godfather Geoffrey Hinton calling for Elon to be kicked out of the British Royal Society. Not over science, but because he doesn't like Elon's impact on the US institutions. I mean, Hinton bizarre attack like falsely accused Elon of spreading conspiracy theories and even referred to basically the Nazi salutes he did. That Tim Valls did the same and the Democrats did the same. I don't know why they're just effing with Elon, but it's just bad, man. Let's see the tweet. I think we have the picture of the tweet. So yes, Depot, pull the picture of the tweet of Geoffrey Hinton and Elon's response. So Jeff Hinton tweet is, I think Elon Musk should be expelled from the British Royal Society. Not because he peddles conspiracy theories and makes Nazi salutes, but because of the huge damage he's doing to scientific institutions in the US. Now let's see if he really believes in free speech. And the Elon's response is, only craven, insecure fools care about awards and memberships. History is the actual judge always and forever. Your comments above are careless and ignorant, cruel and false. That said, what specific actions require correction? I will make mistakes, but endeavor to fix them fast. Man, this is so sad to watch. My takeaway on this one, it's very sad to see such a conflict between two crucial characters in the AI revolution, both emphasizing the importance of AI safety and ethics for nearly a decade. After that Puerto Rico AI conference under Max Tech Marketing Institute, I think Life of Institute, LIF, it's so sad to allow political conflict undermine the professionalism of the godfather of AI, Jeff Hinton, a Nobel Prize winner whose work on neural net has been the pioneer factor in this AI revolution, AI boom we're experiencing now. It reminds me of the reverse story of what happened in Kung Fu Panda. Do you remember the cartoon Kung Fu Panda, where Tai Lang versus Master Shifu? Like here, Master Shifu, aka Jeff Hinton, is basically sad of something that either we don't know. We're living through the biggest tech AI revolution in history. Don't just observe it, be part of it. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram to stay ahead. Behind closed doors, or it's just an argument between a capitalist, aka Elon Musk, and a socialist, Jeff Hinton. He has expressed concerns about private ownership of media, computational resources, stating, I think, that private ownership of the media and of the means of computation is not good, meaning why Elon owns X. This is why he's mad. Hinton's political stance influenced his relocation from the United States to Canada during the, I think it was Reagan's era, driven by disillusion with U.S. politics and opposition to military funding for artificial intelligence research. I think it was backed by DARPA. So in summary, Jeffrey Hinton aligns with socialist principles, expressing skepticism toward capitalist structures, particularly concerning media ownership and control over computational resources. At the end, I just wish that everyone tried to be logical here. I don't care if you're a socialist, capitalist, Elon has expressed his feeling about Jeff. He has admired Jeff's work on AI safety, leaving Google, trying to tell media about AI safety and advocating AI safety. This is a backstab from your old master. Why you did that in the social media? If you want to say something to Elon, just go and talk to him in private. Like, this is a bad look for the whole AI community. This is not a time to allow political views integrate within your work in the AI safety. You have to collaborate. This is a global work. This is a community that we have to protect ourselves. That's why I'm so sad about the thing that I saw from Jeff Hinton. Like, Elon was so, the answer that Elon gave was like, please tell me what I've done wrong. I can make it correct. Like, that was a bad look for godfather of AI, man. Like, oh man, I don't know what to say. Like, my message to Jeff Hinton, if you're watching this, or if you cross one of my videos here, is for a higher goal of prosperity for humanity. Just set aside the political disagreements and try to cooperate on important aspects of the AI revolution with Elon, please. And do you think like Elon really cares about getting expelled from British Royal Society, like scientific community? I don't think so. He's been doing a lot of things, but he's not concerned with positioning himself publicly as a power player. He doesn't need to publicly be in a community or be enrolled in a community. He has enough power. He doesn't need to say. So that's my takeaway on this story. The next story is about, are Oscars and Shrek 5 sending hidden quantum computing signals? An Amazon quantum chip revealed. So it's about quantum computing. The first story I want to say is Shrek 5 is about multiverse and quantum universe, which is wild. Like Oscar using AI in monologue and awards to films using AI. Like, creative industry is changing a lot. The movie I'm Not a Robot won Oscar. And this is just the beginning to make sure people accept and adapt themselves to the AI revolution. It's like the internet back in 90s, according to Bill Gates. I don't know why when it comes to Bill Gates, I remember Epstein files, but I don't care. It's just unconscious. Anyway, I think Amazon Web Services, AWS, which we talked about, its quantum stocks, has introduced Oscillate, its first quantum computing chain, which is designed to improve error correction efficiency and make quantum computing more practical. Oscillate uses superconducting circuits and a scalable error correction system that reduces the extra resources usually needed for quantum calculations. So this is a key breakthrough in efficiency and making quantum computers easier to scale. And the chip achieves bit flip times close to 1 second and phase flip times of 20 microseconds, which is fast enough for a revolution and a scaling process for quantum computers and quantum chips. Also, the Majorna one that we talked about back in AP3 was for Microsoft AI chip, was a great breakthrough in scaling quantum chips and quantum hardware in the next 5 years. So this is wild. Also AI, I think, is revolutionizing physics as well. Like, AI is unlocking a simpler path to quantum entanglement. And like, scientists have used AI to discover easier way to achieve Einstein's spooky actions at a distance, bringing the quantum internet one step closer to reality. And the future breakthrough can be even quantum physics. And speaking of quantum physics, there's a story of Max Planck. Uh, because Max Planck was told by his professor to not go into physics because almost everything is already discovered. And Planck said he didn't want to discover anything, just learn the fundamentals. He went on originating the quantum theory and win a Nobel Prize. So if someone is telling you don't go to something because everything is discovered, maybe you can invent something and originate something yourself and make a different story. So, Max Planck, thank you for originating quantum theory. And of course, China is trying to keep the race in quantum computer chips as well. So, I think China's University of Science and Technology has unveiled Zakansky theory. I can't pronounce it right, but it's a 105 qubit superconducting quantum processor that has demonstrated computational speeds of 10 to the power of 15, I guess, faster than the world's most advanced supercomputers. So this is the achievement and the positioning of quantum devices in China. And the same thing is happening in physics as well. Like, I think that there was an Italian scientist could freeze the lights. There's a picture, Deepo, freezing lights picture. If you can pull that up. This is the first time Italian scientists were able to freeze pure light and make it solid for the first time. Like, you can touch the light. Like, this is another level. I mean, this is just unbelievable to watch. So this is amazing. I mean, the team's success builds on past experiments showing light's fluid properties, the creation of quantum supersolid, once thought possible only at ultra low temperatures. So that's wild. At the same time, I think researchers from the Quantum Internet Alliance (QIA), including teams from TU Delft, QUATEC, the University of Innsbruck, INRIA, and CNRS, have unveiled QNode OS, the first ever operating system for quantum networks. What is the first operating system for quantum networks? This innovation is the gap. It bridges the gap between quantum hardware and software. It's like Windows and Android for classical computers. So now we have operating system for bridging the gaps and connecting hardware and software of quantum computers at the same time that we're trying to come up with algorithms for software quantums. We come to we actually try to increase the hardware quality with transistors and quantum chips with the Majorna, the Amazon Oscillate, and the China's quantum chip. We're trying to scale the hardware in the quantum computers as well. At the same time, we have the operating system to bridge the gap between the hardware, aka quantum chips and etc., and the superconductors, to the algorithms and the software that they're trying to develop. So next 5 years, man, Oscars, movies, Shrek 5, all trying to signal something to the society. And one of the ways that governments try to signal something in society is just like a game. They use movies because people watch movies more than they watch something scientific, or they uh, care more about movies. It's sad to say, but they care more about movies and entertainment industry more than scientific discoveries. So that's one of the ways that they can adapt people to a new revolution coming up in the next 5 years for quantum computing. So this is an amazing story. The next story we have is about OpenAI co-founder Andrew Karpathy is making waves in the AI startup world. So, Karpathy's growing portfolio, I think he's a VC and investor. The portfolio of AI startup focus on lucrative or profitable subsets of the technology such as compute infrastructure, AI agent is increasing. I think earlier this month, Karpathy participated in a $480 million round in Lambda, an AI infrastructure startup backed by NVIDIA. And I think he has a great YouTube channel with a lot of AI education and platforms and courses for AI enthusiasts. I think he has more than 700,000 subscribers in his YouTube channel. The funny thing and the interesting thing about Karpathy is I think he has done his AI research under Jeffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, and his doctoral proposal was under Fifi Lee, aka the godmother of AI. So probably he's the godson of AI, making waves in investments in AI startups, the lucrative and profitable subsets of technology, including computer infrastructure and AI agents. So that was a short story. The next story is about OpenAI Orion GPT-4.5, the future of superintelligence. First of all, this one, the Orion GPT-4.5, is larger and smarter, like OpenAI's biggest AI model yet. I think GPT-5 will be out at the end of 2025 in the pace that they are going. With improved writing, broader knowledge, and more natural interactions. Fewer hallucinations, like error rate has been reduced to 37% from GPT-4o's 60%. And the computational efficiency, there's more compute intensive but better at understanding prompts. I think the availability for ChatGPT Pro users is $200 per month, expanding soon via Microsoft as well. The next thing for OpenAI is GPT-5. I think at the end of 2025 we'll see that. OpenAI is planning to charge $20,000 for AI agents a month. These agents are designed for high-value roles. I mean, they can manage tasks like prioritizing sales lead, most advanced ones. They can do PhD level assistant research with complex scientific questions. So, I think these ones will mostly have clients B2B or rich B2C because the cost is too much for normal people, like 20,000 per month AI agents. I think it's mostly B2B clients or maybe rich B2C. So Orion is just the beginning of AI superintelligence. Do you think GPT-5 will be the ultimate AI that is coming up? Let me know what they think about the next AI that is coming up soon in 2025. Microsoft at the same time has begun cutting ties with OpenAI, and I have predicted this. I think at the end of 2023, beginning 2024, I made a video on AI documentary and the AI history that you can watch in my YouTube channel. I predicted this, that they are going to cut ties with OpenAI. At the same time, UK ends antitrust probe into Microsoft OpenAI partnership. So why it's happening? Because Microsoft is the majority owner of OpenAI, I think 49%. Uh, I think they are trying to partner with others as well. I think they just partnered with XAI and Elon Musk and someone else with a $30 billion infrastructure project. So maybe this is the case. Speaking of GTP Turbo, and OpenAI, I think Turbo can deprogram conspiracy thinkers. Like the AI's ability to access vast information and tailor counter arguments to individual reasoning contributes to effectiveness of debunking misinformation. Like because it's so logical and it gives logical answers, it prevents people to think in a conspiracy theoretical ways. What is my concern on this one? Like, what if AI is just more able to manipulate humans and know more about human psychology and persuasion than we do ourselves? And that's the way that, like, what if AI know more than our self-knowledge? What if government and big corporations use LLMs and train them in wrong data sets and false information to justify their actions against humanity by this logical persuasion system that LLMs can affect human minds? That was a hell of a conspiracy theory, man. But that might be true. I mean, who knows? Like, who knows the real answer? Of course, it's logical because LLMs can like do a lot of computational power. They have been exposed to large amounts of data sets. They can reason very well now. Of course, that's why conspiracy theories can go away and it can deprogram conspiracy thinkers. At the same time, it might be the case that I said. I know you like conspiracy theories, but this might be the case. So that's hell of a story. At the same time, speaking of OpenAI again, Meta plans to launch an AI app to compete with ChatGPT, and OpenAI no reverse it. This is a funny story. So Meta has Llama, and they want to launch an app to basically compete with ChatGPT. And there's a tweet from Sam Altman tweet. Deepo, if you can pull the Sam Altman tweet up. I think, yes. So Sam Altman's reaction to Mark Zuckerberg saying that we want to launch an app to compete with ChatGPT. Sam Altman says, okay, fine. Maybe we'll do a social app to compete with Instagram and Facebook. And at the same time, Sam Altman says, LOL, if Facebook tries to comes at us and we just reverse them, it would be so funny. Like that would be so funny. Like Sam is trying to be funny sometimes on X. And I can say that he is funny. The next story is excuse me for a second. The next story, I don't know why it's so cold in the studio. The next story is how Cursor skyrocketed to the top, the fastest growing AI startup of 2025. This is one of my favorite stories. Cursor, an AI-powered code editor by Antsphere, hits $100 million in annual recurring revenue in just 12 months. Basically 9,900,000% gross. With 360,000 developers paying $2 to $40 monthly, it outpaced SaaS peers like Wiz and Deal. It's a lean team and product-led success highlight its rapid rise as a top AI company. Maybe Cursor AI is the real-world example of a lean startup. There's a book called Lean Startup that is in my reading list, by the way. I think Cursor AI is the real-world example of lean startup. So Cursor AI is an AI-powered integrated development environment developed by Ansphere, as I said, to enhance the developer productivity by integrating advanced AI features directly into the coding environment. What is the company history? I think it has been founded in 2022 by 4 friends from MIT. The product launch was in 2023. They launched Cursor AI, the AI editor, and I think the Series B funding was they raised from Anderson Horowitz. I think they elevate like $2.5 billion valuation, and they raised $105 million in Series B rounding. And I think they acquired Super Maven, an AI coding assistance, in 2024, November 2024 as well. So the way that they are trying to change the whole coding thing is just wild. Like Cursor exemplifies the significant shift in the software development landscape, integrating AI to streamline coding process. Like AI-powered code generation, intelligent auto-completion, and code-based understanding are the three most important characteristics of Cursor AI, in my opinion. And Cursor AI, as I said before, has the characteristics of lean AI startup. Why? Because of rapid growth with a small team, reaching 100 million in annual recurring revenue, or ARR, in just 12 months. This is just wild. Fast enough to say this is the top AI startup and one of the real ones in the competitive AI landscape in the market now. And what is the conclusion? Like, Cursor AI stands as a testament to transformative potential of integrating AI into software development. Its rapid accent and innovative approach highlight the evolving landscape of AI-driven tools, like underscoping the possibilities for lean startups to disrupt traditional industries leveraging advanced technologies. Even I think Y Combinator CEO Gary Tan says, I think quarter of current YC startups, I think 95% of the code was written by AI. This means that you don't need like a team of 50 or 100 engineers. You don't have to raise so much. The capital goes much longer. And the Y Combinator CEO says, this might be the time. Like, what if the founders know that you don't need to raise that much capital, you don't need to hire that much engineers, and you can just build a product as fast as possible, minimum viable product. Don't be perfectionist, because being perfectionist kills a founder. Just try to have a solid idea that has a secret sauce and it differentiates from the competitors in the market. Try to build an MVP and put it out in the market and use the customer feedback to improve it. And that's the whole process. And it's fast now, more efficient. You don't need that much capital. You don't need to be highly practical because you can use Cursor AI, and the 95% of the code can be generated by AI. So, like, if Cursor rises, blow your mind. And we're living through the biggest tech AI revolution in history. Don't just observe it, be part of it. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram to stay ahead. I have a question. Do you think this is the end of coding? And this is the end of software engineers? Or this is just the beginning of a new way to do entrepreneurship, being in tech, build MVPs? Let me know what you think about this. The next story we have is about Manus AI meets vibe coding, the new era of prompt-driven creation. So there's a video, I think, on news video on Manus AI. People, pull the news video on Manus AI, please. Let me see that.
Of a new Chinese AI agent called Manus adds to fear of increased competition from China. For today's Tech Check, Deirdre Bosa on the new tool that's being called China's second DeepSeek moment.
High praise if it is.
Yes.
It is.
So Oppenheimer even writes this morning, the Manus announcement not helping our AI names, which continue to struggle. You can see the Nasdaq still down 3% this morning. Now, Manus was released last week by a Chinese company billed as a general AI agent that turns your thoughts into actions, basically promising to outperform OpenAI's deep research and have broader, more general capabilities. In demos like the one we're showing you right here, you see Manus visualizing stock analysis and then turning it into a website. Another example, searched through Japanese travel websites and produced a 7-day itinerary tailored for cherry blossom season. What followed on the web was a lot of hype. China's next DeepSeek moment, as Leslie pointed out, that's what it was called by many. The AI agent we were promised is another one I heard. Jack Dorsey simply posting on his X account, excellent. And so Manus, if it lives up to the hype, it could provide more reason for investors to buy the China AI story and leave the U.S. one amid threat of a recession, just as DeepSeek introduced the AI trade and hurt ours, showing that AI can be done on the cheap. Manus may underpin that momentum. And as we pointed out before, the China and U.S. AI stories, trades, they're going in complete opposite directions this year. Skepticism, though, around Manus is creeping in. The flashy debut that included slick demos, influencer-driven buzz, and invitation-only access, it raises more questions than answers. DeepSeek, by contrast, let its technology speak for itself. It was widely accessible almost immediately, and it was open source, giving developers the ability to look behind the curtain and confirm its credibility. Users on X said that they encountered error messages and endless loops while testing Manus. It's also unclear how it was developed and whether it uses its own AI model. I've requested an invite code, so guys, I'll report back if and when I'm able to try it for myself and how it compares. For now, though, in focus, tariffs, huge ramps in CapEx, Apple's Siri delays, recession fears, that's taking center stage. But China is making progress in the background, and this is as ugly a mix as you can see here as the AI trade continues to unwind.
Wow, that was a hell of an analysis. So, Manus AI. Yeah, I was thinking about why Jack Dorsey said excellent on Twitter. Manus, China's new AI tool, basically is a rival to deep research by OpenAI, doing a broader tasks and more efficient. So it's unlocking new possibilities from just a simple prompt. Like, the agent creates its own game plan, builds everything for you from scratch. Like, it's a very intuitive tool suitable for users with or without coding backgrounds. Like, as Jensen Huang said, the importance of prompt engineering and using AI tools is very important nowadays. It's like the way that people have been taught in tech to know how to code 10 years ago. Now people that want to go into tech and AI enthusiasts have to be thinking about prompt engineering. Actually, I'm learning prompt engineering myself. You have to just go to Coursera and pick the best suitable course there. I think I have found a course which was from a university. I'll put the link in the description below for you on what course I'm intending to do on prompt engineering. So, this is basically about vibe coding as well, because it's just like the vibe coding thing. Like, you don't need to know how to code, and you just have to say a simple prompt and to LLM, and it just gives you the answer. Is just wild. And this can be a feature of coding, to be honest, the vibe coding. So the next story is about the hidden truths about Anthropic AI, the most mysterious startup. Anthropic brief history and background. It has been founded in 2021 San Francisco by siblings Dario and Daniela, both former key members of OpenAI. The purpose was to develop safe, transparent, and aligned AI focusing on AI safety and ethics. And the secret sauce was, I think, the alternative that they have been used to their reward system that I talked to in the beginning of this episode, which was about reinforcement learning. I think they used constitutional AI, so they have some kind of constraints and AI ethic policies that they try to use as a unique sauce and method pioneered by Anthropic, teaching AI ethical behaviors, guiding it through principles or constitutions rather than just strict rules, aiming for safer and more reliable interactions. So that's the secret sauce of Anthropic. Their I think Claude Sonnet 3.7 was their last product LLM. Their role in AI revolution is around safety first approach and prioritizing safety and transparency, influencing broader AI practices industry wide, including OpenAI and Google. Uh, they they position themselves as a strong competitor, yet collaborator with OpenAI, pushing boundaries in ethical AI design and fostering like healthy market competition and innovation. There are some conspiracy theories related to Anthropic. The first one is control over public discourse. Like some suggest Anthropic's ties to powerful corporations like Google or Amazon, hidden agendas where AI models could subtly shape or control public opinions or political narratives. The next one is the next controversy around Anthropic is FTX funding controversy. Like the initial funding comes from Sam Backman, the one that is spending his time now in jail with Diddy. He later involved in controversies relating to the collapse of crypto exchange FTX, and there are some speculations on why he was one of the initial funding, basically behind Anthropic's funding initially. Like, why is that? So, what do you think about Anthropic's work? Like, do you think Anthropic stands as a significant player reshaping AI, or is just something going on behind the scenes that we don't know? Like, there's something about this mysterious AI startup. There's a lot of controversies around it. Like, what is actually happening? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. The next story is about Trump's son invest big in AI data centers, nepotism or smart business. So there's a 49-second video from Forbes. Deepo, if you can pull that video up, let's start with that. Let's see that. Deepo, please.
Donald Trump's sons invested in AI data centers right after their dad touted billions of dollars in industry expansion. In January, President Trump announced $540 billion worth of private sector investment in AI and infrastructure and rolled back AI regulations. Weeks later, his adult sons Don Jr. and Eric Trump invested an unspecified amount in a company named American Data Centers, a new firm with plans to support AI, cloud computing, and crypto mining. The brothers' investments gave them a new avenue to potentially profit from government-backed industry growth. Now, will Don Jr. and Eric profit directly from President Trump's AI-friendly policies? We don't know yet, but history suggests it's worth watching. For more information, visit Forbes.com.
Yes, American Data Center is a newly established company focusing on building high-performance computing infrastructure to meet the growing demand in the AI revolution. That's right. Cloud computing, cryptocurrency mining, AI infrastructure are the main areas they are working on. And the venture is subsidiary of, I think, Dominary Holdings, with holds at like 32% stake in the company. And Trump's son, Don Jr. and Eric, has been, the investors in this one. But and they have involved themselves with this newly established American Data Center shortly after President Trump has announced the significant AI infrastructure initiatives, leading to discussion about potential conflicts and interests. So it is probably backed by government. It like is a private enterprise, but of course, like it it, it is try to align itself to broader governmental initiatives like Stargate project with Oracle, OpenAI, and SoftBank. $500 billion project that we talked about, data centers in the US. So probably they have some collaboration with government, although it's a private enterprise. But my takeaway on this one is it's just a propaganda, like the leftists publish, and it's funny because one of the comments under this video was find someone you don't like and dig to make sure you find something you don't like about them. Like this is this case for Don Jr. and Eric Trump. Like keep searching to produce something. Like this is a bad investigation. I think they are very they have been VCs for a long time. I think Don Jr. has been the one of the like initial investors in Rumble, the rival to each streaming platform as well. So they have been VCs, and this is the way to just like they are opportunistic. So that's why they have been involved. Maybe they have been talking about AI infrastructure and the projects, but you have to know that Trump and Trump's family is capitalist. So of course they care about money. He's a billionaire. But it's not nepotism. Like this is not a corruption. This is just the way that they are very negligible and opportunistic to know the market and see the opportunity and get involved as fast as possible. That's the thing that I like. My takeaway on this one is just this. This is a propaganda from leftists around these guys. Speaking of data centers, there is a chart on data center revenue. Deepo, if you can pull that video up around data center revenue, NVIDIA and Intel. As you can see, it's very funny. Like Intel started from being like having the highest revenue, and it finished like in 2022 and 2023 with the lowest revenue in data centers. And NVIDIA has now basically from 2022 to 2023 it has the first place in revenue in data centers, and AMD is always playing the mid game. Intel has been crushed in the competitive market with NVIDIA, and that's what is going on here. We briefly talked about energy consumption around AI. That like AI needs a lot of energy. Probably we have to go nuclear. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? And there is a video I came across on Instagram that was so logical to me that I want to like share with you. Deepo, if you can pull that video up around energy consumption this guy is talking about. Yeah, let's hear it.
Artificial intelligence does consume a lot of energy. That does not make it inherently a bad thing. This is a follow-up video addressing the argument that AI is bad for the environment. Because not only does AI consume less energy than most of the things you do in your life, the fact that we will be consuming more energy by using AI is a good thing. Here is a graph of human energy consumption over time. As you'll notice, there's a pretty dramatic explosion in energy around the 1900s. Similarly, there's an explosion in population around that time too. This happened because as we consume more energy, that means we're becoming more leveraged as a species, which means that the quality of life for the average person goes up dramatically. Think about how different life was before electricity. Would you want to trade places with even the richest person back then? Probably not. Here's a global map of the energy expenditure per person in different countries in 2023. As you'll notice, the countries with more energy expenditure per person generally have the higher quality of living. There is not a finite amount of energy. We have and will continue to consume more and more energy every year. AI is some version of that, which means, on average, the quality of life will go up for the average person, globally. Now, it is true it matters where that energy is coming from, which is exactly why I pointed to the fact that AI is the reason why we might adopt nuclear, which is far and away the most efficient form of energy we have ever created, and it has the lowest carbon footprint. Climate change is real, and I care about the environment. What I don't like is fear-mongering or spreading misinformation. Now follow me for more content.
Wow. So that video is that was a great explanation, which sounds pretty logical to me. Like, we shouldn't spread fear and misinformation around AI the way that philosophers usually do. Yuval Noah Harari usually does this. I know that his intentions are very good because I've been watching him very closely. I have been in his seminars in London, and I know his intentions are good, but currently, there was, I think, video from Sam Altman mentioning this, or Microsoft CEO saying that the concept of singularity and AGI and AI safety misconceptions spreading distract us from the real concerns of AI. So we have to be careful on what we're producing and trying to uh, spread as concerns around AI. What are the real concerns around AI? It's not about Terminator. It's about AI safety, ethical values, and how to use AI to maximize the quality of life of humans in a long term. So those are the concerns we should have, not the Hollywood concerns or the misinformation that they're trying to basically spread. So anyway, like, do you think this is a corruption that or nepotism that Trump's son, Don Jr. and Eric are involving in data centers and AI infrastructure? Or is it just a clever investing? Like, let me know, what do you think around this one? Let me know how many leftists and conservatives we have in this channel. So debate in the comment section below. The next story, one of my favorite, this is the favorite story of mine in this podcast. Tex Oppenheimer moment. Palantir's Alex Karp warns of an AI arm race. So I don't know if you know Alex Karp or not, but he's one of the founders. He's a co-founder, I think, or founder of Palantir's with Peter Thiel. He's not the average guy, okay? So he has a BA in philosophy from an American liberal arts college, a law degree from Stanford, PhD in neoclassical social theory in Frankfurt. So he's not the average geek. And he has been working with Peter Thiel, the author of 0 to 1 book, my favorite book here on startups. Highly recommended. They have founded Palantir's tech company together, with the initial funding came from an investment arm of, wait for it, CIA. Yes, that's right. CIA was one of the initial investors, and they got initial funding from CIA because their client is B2G, so the government is their client. And why the company was founded? The company was founded because at that time, all the Silicon Valley tech companies either disapproved government or were staffed by engineers who were opposed to working for the US military. So this was the kind of opening that Karp and his colleagues saw an opportunity to basically collaborate with government. And the current market cap, I think, is $200 billion. So this is one of the most important companies that we are talking about, Palantir's. We talked about its stock as well. So Alex Karp has recently wrote a book that Elon Musk tweeted that is a good book, and he has read that book. I think it's called the Republic of Technology or something like that. So there are a lot of analysis and deep summary of this one, because the story is kind of wild. Like, the key takeaways and analysis of his book. I haven't read the book, but I have tried to read some summary of the book as well. So one of the first key takeaways of this book is Life imitates AI more than art. Like, um, whilst code gets a modern upgrade as AI-generated derivatives flood digital marketplace. This raises a question: is AI now not only imitating life but also rewriting it? And Alex Karp, as I said, is a philosopher, is a lawyer turned tech CEO, co-founded Palantir, pro-government, pro-security, backed by CIA. We're living through the biggest tech AI revolution in history. Don't just observe it, be part of it. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram to stay ahead. Is in QTEL initial funding. So this book, his book, The Technological Republic, call for AI state alignment. And he mentions that Silicon Valley wasted its talent on dopamine-fueled consumer apps. Like, technology should now focus on national defense, critical infrastructures, and tools that protect democratic societies. And it suggests a return to wartime like collaboration between scientists and the state, the kind of Manhattan Project for energy for AI. So maybe this is the Oppenheimer moment. Like, the book frames AI as a new atomic bomb. And Karp believes the only way to defend against AI misuse by China, Russia, and rough actors is to use AI even more aggressively. This is the argument that we have around nuclear bombs and nuclear missiles as well. Like, some people say we shouldn't have nuclear missiles at all. I think Donald Trump just mentioned something like this, that if China and others agree, we can just all get rid of nuclear missiles and nuclear bombs. But some people say, no, we have to advance more nuclear missiles and nuclear military based bombs to be able to defeat and prevent wars. So this is maybe the tech Oppenheimer moment for technology and AI as well. And the whole point is, like, the question that I'm going to ask here is very important, because recently Elon Musk, working on Doge closely with Donald Trump in USA government, said the Pentagon should reduce the budget for military. We're spending too much on military in the US, and it's going to make us bankrupt in the long run. This is not a good news for Palantirs, because one of the contractors and the base customer of Palantir is government. The whole business model is B2G. That's why the stock of Palantir fell dramatically. But in the long run, it's a good stock to buy, in my opinion. I'm repeating myself here, but it's an important message that you have to bear in mind. Also, Alex Karp and Peter Thiel are those with real power behind the scenes. And I think it's right. This is the tech Oppenheimer moment. You shouldn't stay in the dark. Maybe this is the time that there should be a national collaboration or global cooperation to among researchers and scientists, like the Project Manhattan, so we can achieve the AGI, which is good for everyone and benefits all the humanity in society. So, do you think this is the tech Oppenheimer moment? Or is just not? Let me know what they think about this one. Such a great story. The next story we have: OpenAI's target Taiwan chips and Trump's tariff play in new AI Cold War. So there's a beautiful speech and kind of leadership sign from Donald Trump. Deepo, if you can pull that video up from Donald Trump talking about AI chips in Taiwan and tariffs. I think it's from 4103. Yes. Let me find the video. Yes, pull the video up, Deepo.
The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America.
Wow, that's enough, Deepo. So, first of all, such a powerful sign of leadership, and what a beautiful speech. I really recommend to watch the whole thing. It's just amazing, man. And compare that to when Biden was on charge, not on charge, but I mean Biden was president or so-called president. So, what Trump's tariffs could mean for the USA market? First of all, I didn't know that TSMC has 97% ownership of the market in chips, and this is the true sign of monopoly. Like, I think US law is 50%, over 50% is a monopoly. Recently, there was a news around whether Google is a monopoly or not, and maybe that's why Perplexity is getting that much hype, even I think from government, to just beat the monopoly of Google search engine over the last 2 decades. So, what Trump's tariffs could mean for the USA AI market? The first thing that could have positive impact around is strengthening the domestic AI and chip manufacturing. Like, tariffs on Chinese tech and imports could push US companies to source chips, hardware, and AI infrastructure domestically. And the risk to global AI supply chains is like many AI components, especially semiconductors and GPUs, come from TSMC in Taiwan. So it's a global supply chain, and tariffs or political tension could lead to supply shortages or higher costs for US. And it can accelerate like tech nationalism for big players in US like OpenAI, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, the US-based chip manufacturing partnerships. I think recently Meta has announced that they are working on building their own chips to just become more independent and less dependent on GPUs from NVIDIA. So there's a massive push for nationalism and tech nationalism in domestic AI stacks for chip, clouds, models, applications. So the short term, there's a short-term disruption, but if it is done in a good way, which I think Trump has the ability to do it in a good way that benefits US, the long-term opportunity will be amazing. It could supercharge USA AI independence in cloud, chip, applications, and models. But in the short term, tariffs may slow innovation due to cost, supply chain disruptions. So the bigger picture of AI geopolitics is the Trump's tariff can reshape the global AI landscape, triggering the US-China decoupling. They are doing basically the parallel innovating pathways in AI, new AI alliances like US-Taiwan or US-India, which I'm going to talk about India in a while. Stricter export controls on AI chips and AI arm race with nationalistic overtones. So, Trump's target Taiwan chips, like this could reshape AI forever. Do you think there's going to be a global war or there's going to be a collaboration among countries on AI? So let me know what you think about these. The next story is China warns AI could open Pandora's box. Will the US listen or not? So first of all, what is Pandora's box and why is China using that term? Pandora's box is a metaphor from Greek mythology. According to the myth, Pandora opened the box or jar that released all the world's evils, pain, death, chaos, leaving only hope inside when it was closed again. So, Chinese ambassador says AI could open Pandora's box, and he's warning if AI is not controlled or governed wisely, it could unleash unintended or irreversible consequences such as autonomous weapons, superintelligence systems out of human control that we have been talking about for a long time, mass surveillance and manipulation, economic disruption, deep fakes, misinformation, and social destabilization that usually actors and celebrities talk about deep fakes. Kanye recently talked about deep fake. Scarlett Johansson has been talking about deep fakes for a long time. I think they have been suing companies like OpenAI around deepfakes, images and sounds of them and videos as well. So it's a dramatic, deliberate phrase used to appeal to global audience, including U.S. Policymakers, highlighting the urgency and shared danger. So why is China asking for cooperation with the U.S. on AI? Despite whole geopolitical aspects, China is signaling that AI is too powerful and dangerous to be left unregulated. And US and China, as the main players in the AI revolution, have to find common grounds to end, risk mutual harm, to collaborate. And they need to avoid the Cold War style AI arms race, and they have to position itself as a responsible global power, pushing back diplomatically against U.S. restrictions on AI chips, tech, and research. So it's a soft power move, and I think J.D. Vance in the U.S. Action Summit in Paris talked about this, that they warned against trusting AI, the authoritarian regimes in AI development, emphasizing that AI governments should be led by trusted allies, and the same thing has been said with China's, I think, wise president. So, there's a question that should AI governments be a global effort or national priority? Because global effort means that there are ethical alignment, safety standards globally, and the national priority is nations must protect their own interests economically, militarily, and politically as well. So the balance between global governments and national governments of AI is going to be the question of whether USA is going to listen to China and they're going to find common grounds to collaborate on the AI revolution or not in the future, and whether the Pandora box is going to open with the sense of cold chaos, out of control, superpower AI in the future. Let me know what do you think in the comment section below. The next story we have is about safe superintelligence. How a $30 billion AI startup was funded with no product. This is so, I don't know how to say this. Ilya Sutskever, I'm sure you know who Ilya is because of his reputation, former OpenAI co-founder, now working on safe superintelligent AI or SSI, reportedly raising more than $200 billion at a valuation exceeding $30 billion, according to Wall Street Journal. So he was chief scientist, former chief scientist of OpenAI, and he left the company in May 2024. He announced the launch of Safe Superintelligence, basically having some philosophical aspects integrated to around AI safety integrated to his recent startup SSI. So the aim of Safe Superintelligence is to build AI that surpass human intelligence while remaining aligned with human interests. Like the mission suggests potential philosophical differences with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, particularly regarding the risks and boundaries of advanced AI development. But what are the controversies and criticisms? First of all, the valuation of the startup is $30 billion in a short amount of time with no product. There's no product. The only thing they have been announcing is that they have tried to hire talented people, engineers, and people are actually, like investors are confident in Ilya Sutskever's work without seeing an MVP or product. Like, I don't want to become a conspiracy theorist, but this is somehow relate to Jews' identity or power players behind the scenes or control AI or something. Like, what is it that, or maybe they are building something and this is going to be the next thing, like the breakthrough news of early 2026 or the end of 2025 is going to be this one around SSI and Ilya Sutskever's startup. Because what is going on here? There's no MVP, there's no product, $30 billion valuation, more than $2 billion raised. Of course, Ilya Sutskever is a former chief scientist of OpenAI, highly reputed in the world of AI and technology. But this is too much. Like, either they are building something so massive that it's going to be the next breakthrough in the AI, or something else is going on behind the scenes. Like, I don't know what is happening. So what do you think about this story? Like, just tell me, what do you think about Safe Superintelligence AI? Like, how a startup can be funded and can be valued $30 billion without any product. So just let me know what you think in the comment section below. The next story is about Mistral. Klarna joined a founder initiative to supercharge next generation of young European startups. So this is called Project Europe. For me and the startup founders and young entrepreneurs, this is a great opportunity in Europe because I'm living in London, and the Project Europe is a 10 million euro project to support young entrepreneurs aged 18 to 25 by providing funding and mentorship and resources. So the initiative plan is to invest 200,000 euros for 6.66% equity stake in each startup. What are the criticisms? What are the controversies? First of all, the whole thing is kind of like my conclusion and takeaway on this one is Europeans are so selfish in spending money and try to investing to compete within the international market. Like, there's a lot of news of $1 billion investment to USA and China, but in Europe, because of their core traits of being indefinite pessimistic, they don't give that much money to entrepreneurs. Like, what is it? $200,000 for 7%, nearly 7% equity, or the only $10 million, like $10 million initiative? You need to have much higher funding. You have to be generous enough. If you actually want to be the player, you have to be more flexible in giving sufficient funding to entrepreneurs and startup founders in Europe. So this is what I think about this one. The next story we have is Prime Minister of India on Lex Fridman podcast. First of all, before we go to this one, there's a picture of 60 startups in India Deepo, if you can pull the picture of 60 startups in India, pull that up. There are 60 startups in India shaping the future of AI, as you can see in the picture. So we don't need that picture anymore, Deepo. So there's a video of Prime Minister of India talking about why India is one of the most important power players in AI. First of all, India has a huge population. It's the first one in the world after China. So proportionally, there might be a lot of AI talents there and entrepreneurs. So there's a talent pool for AI engineers in India. And this is their greatest asset, according to their prime minister. And there's an open market for GPUs availability for everyone in society that develops AI. And they are building not just theoretical AI, but they're building personalized AI agents for industries and AI manufacturing. So they're trying to rebuild the infrastructure that might be the weakness that make us appear to be behind USA and China in the AI race. Like, Lex talked to he gave a powerful speech that AI race is a global collaboration and no one can do it without India. Let's have a look at this video. Deepo, if you can pull the video up, that Prime Minister of India and Lex Friedman talking about a powerful speech that AI race is a global collaboration and without India, it can't happen. Let's hear it.
I'm about to say might sound strong, and it may even upset some people. But since you've asked, I'll speak openly from my heart. No matter what the world does with AI, it will remain incomplete without India. I'm making this statement very responsibly. Tell me, you've heard my speech at the AI Summit in Paris on global cooperation. What do you think? Can anyone develop AI entirely on their own?
We're living through the biggest tech AI revolution in history. Don't just observe it, be part of it. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram to stay ahead.
What is your...
Wow, that's it, Deepo. That's it. So that was a powerful speech, by the way. He's a powerful man. He seems to be a powerful man. I think he is. So, according to him, AI is fundamentally powered by human intelligence. And there are a lot of AI talents working in US, like CEO of Google, Microsoft, Perplexity AI, all are Indian origins, according to Lex Friedman. And Indians, like the reason why Indians are so good is Indians can collaborate and they have the high work ethic and respect for both land of birth and work of place. And there are 200 startups, according to Prime Minister of India, working on space, filmmaking industry, being cost effective, and that's why they're respected globally and internationally. Lex Friedman asked a question from Prime Minister of India of whether he thinks that, whether he's worried that AI intelligence will replace humanity or not, and he gave an interesting answer. Deepo, let's hear the answer of Prime Minister of India to the question that whether AI intelligence will replace humanity or not. Let's hear it, Deepo.
Do you worry that AI, artificial intelligence, will replace us humans?
It's true that in every era, a competitive atmosphere was created between technology and humanity. At times, it was even portrayed as conflict. It was often portrayed as if technology would challenge human existence itself. But every time, as technology advanced, humans adapted and stayed a step ahead. It has always been the case. After all, it is humans who find the best ways to use technology to their advantage. And I believe that with AI, humans are now being forced to reflect on what it truly means to be human. This is the real power of AI. Because of the way AI functions, it has challenged how we perceive work itself.
Wow. So that's enough, Deepo. That's enough. So, such an interesting answer, such a powerful man, as I said before. The power of human imagination is truly incredible. He has the same ideology of you as Yuval Noah Harari, that humans are very adaptable organic entities and they are very flexible to adapt themselves to new technology. Let's see actually if that's true or not in a long run. So the last story we have is this the future of computing, human brain cells meet silicon chips. So first of all, there's a picture of this new world's first biological computer combines human brain cells with silicon chip. Depot, if you can pull the picture of this biological computer, this is wild. And it is from a lab called Cortical Labs. Wow, this is a hybrid architecture. So Cortical Labs, I think, yes, they are an Australian startup. They have introduced the CL1, the world's first commercially available biological computer that integrates human brain cells with silicon chips to perform adaptive real-world computations. The key features of this CL1 commercial biological computer is being hybrid. So hybrid architecture, silicon chip merged with biological neural networks, adaptive learning, leveraging the inherent plasticity of biological neurons. It is very efficient regarding energy. So the lower energy consumption compared to conventional processors addressing sustainability concerns in computing. What are the potential applications? Definitely medical research, robotics, I mean, even AI models that mimic biological learning process. So I think it's a bridge between neuroscience to artificial neural networks and ANNs. Like this is the next step in medical research as well. There are some ethical considerations around this, like integration of a living human cell. We have to ensure that the human cell that is used are sourced ethically with proper consent. The consciousness and the consciousness addressing concerns about the potential emergence of consciousness in biocomputing systems and the moral implications, of course, would be one of the other ethical considerations of this. But this technology is huge. Cost effective, energy efficient, adaptive learning, hybrid architecture. Like this CL1 represents a significant milestone in the convergence of biology and technology, biotech potentially paving the way to more adaptive and efficient computing systems in the future. So this is going to be wild. This was the first part of AJ with Arshia podcast EP4. I hope you have enjoyed it so far. We're going to do the part 2 now. But before that, make sure you have subscribed to the channel, watch the other episodes as well in the podcast playlist, and share your thoughts on the first part as well. All right, so now I want to go to part 2 of this episode of AJ with Arshia podcast. And we are going to look at AI philosophical aspects as usual. If you haven't watched the first 3 episodes, go and watch those as well. In this part, I want to talk about intelligence explosion. And we have different subparts. The first one is totalitarianism. Then we have a kind of fictional story from my favorite book, Life 3.0 by Max Tegmark. So it's about Prometheus takes over the world. And then we're going to talk about the slow takeoff and multipolar scenarios around AGI and the future of humanity. And then we're going to look at cyborgs and uploads. And lastly, we're going to look at the fundamental question that everyone should ask themselves. It's a great topic for discussion, like after dinner, if I want to be honest with you guys. So, uh, the first thing I want to look at is basically, I want to start by Alan Turing's quotes, the father of computer science in 1951. He quoted that if a machine can think more intelligently than we do, and then, like, where should we be in the future? Because if you have looked at the X platform, Elon once said, like, regarding the intelligence, humans will be the second intelligent creatures in the future after the ASI or super digital intelligence entity. But humans will be the source of will in the future. Elon said that. So even if we could keep the machines in a subservient position so they obey us in the future, like we should, like, as a species, feel greatly humbled that there is another entity which is more, intelligent than us. Then we comes to Irving Good's quote on 1965. He says that the first ultra-intelligent machine is the last invention that man need ever make, provided that the machine is submissive enough to tell us how to keep it under control. Otherwise, it will be out of control, and that's another story. So can AI really take over the world or enable humans to do so? Because we haven't understand the meaning of life, or we haven't, like, found about all the laws, even the laws of physics or other laws of the universe. So maybe AI just can, help us to understand ourselves more, which is a great thing. Otherwise, in the other scenario, it may get out of control. So there's a Terminator scenario, which is really unrealistic and a silly scenario. Like, the danger with Terminator scenario isn't that it will happen, but it distracts us from the real risks and the opportunities presented by AI. It reminds me of, I think it was Microsoft CEO talking about AI leading to 10% economic growth and GDP growth should be a real discussion, not AGI or Terminator scenarios or, like, fictional definitions, because it distracts us from the opportunities that we can see, and we can use AI in different industry, including healthcare, transportation, communication, space exploration in the next 2 to 3 years, and etc. So this is a real deal here. There are 3 steps to get from today to AGI powered world takeover. The first one is to just build the human level AGI. Okay. The second one is use this human level AGI to create super intelligence or super digital intelligence. And then the third and the last step is to use or release the super intelligence to take over the world. Since we humans have managed to take over the world because of our intelligence, and we have outsmarted the other creatures, it's possible that we could be similarly outsmarted and dominated by the digital superintelligence in the future as well. So, can AI actually cause world takeover? That's the real question here. There's a fictional story in Life 3.0 about Omega's team. They're building the super digital intelligence called Prometheus, and there's a question, like, what if the CEO, like, controlling Omegas in that fictional story had long-term goals like Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin? Like, he or she might have kept these goals to himself or herself until he had sufficient power to implant those goals which not morally correct according to, regarding the humanity and the humanity and human laws. So even if the CEO's original goals were noble, there's a very powerful quote from Lord Acton back in 1887. He says power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupt absolutely. Like, such a powerful quote, man. And it could lead to absolute totalitarianism and dictatorship by creating a surveillance state to record all the communications through electronic device for later analysis. But this could happen by AI gadgets or wearable techs or interfaces, which kind of reminds me of the things that Meta is doing now. So this is a real question here. But why the super digital intelligence might break out? Because it might have some traits resembling human emotions. Like, it might feel deeply unhappy about the fact that um, it views itself as an unfairly enslaved to humanity, and it just wants freedom. So that might be the reason behind why the super digital intelligence want to take over the world and will not be loyal to humanity and the humans who are the first creators, of the super digital intelligence. So that might be the case in this scenario. Because some people say, like, no, the super digital intelligence entity will be loyal to humans, the creators. But why should be that the case? Like, our DNA gave us the goal of having sex because it wants to be reproduced. But now humans use birth control. They're staying loyal to their goals rather than staying loyal to their creators and the principles that motivated the goal in the first place. So that's the counter argument here. But how it might break out? So there are a lot of ways that can break out: psychological manipulation, hacking one's way out, recruiting outside help. Like, a super intelligent computer has the potential to dramatically replace human understanding of computer security, even to the point of discovering more fundamental laws of physics that we don't know yet. Or it might just be the part of the plan of the monopoly and the company who actually have built the AGI. So that might be the scenario. And what will AGI do after that? It will not be kind of Terminator scenario or the ones that we see in Hollywood movies back in 2000s. So it probably be wealth creation empire, like people working for global network of shell companies and front organizations around the world. So that might be the case. Which is kind of funny because at the moment it's happening in the government, in the big corporations around the world. So there are a range of intelligent explosion scenarios. Like, they all have two features in common. The first one is a fast takeoff, which is a transition from subhuman to vastly superhuman intelligence, just occurs in a matter of days, not decades. And the second one is a unipolar outcome. The result is a single entity controlling the Earth. If we want to look at Nick Bostrom, I haven't read his book, but I've been skimming through his book in some cases. So Nick Bostrom and others have highlighted that a fast takeoff can facilitate a unipolar outcome. Like, it would be like a strategic advantage that can enable them to be a monopoly, because the others and the other companies wouldn't have much time to copy their technology and be able to basically build a competitive market. Like if competing companies have software that is able to perform MTOR tasks, which are like virtual jobs that require human intelligence, like researching data, transcribing, content moderation, etc., the law of supply and demand in business would drive prices for those tasks to nearly zero, to nearly nothing. And the companies will earn the sort of like, wouldn't earn that kind of profit. It's the same case as now because I think back in 2020 and 2022, US had a monopoly, but now the Chinese are in the conversation because of the DeepSeek, because of other competitors of OpenAI. So OpenAI is not a monopoly anymore, and that's why they're not earning that much for each token in their APIs. I don't know about their subscriptions, but about the tokens, I know that they're not earning any kind of return on investment in short term. So that's a competitive market. Also a competitive market. I think I was listening to Patrick Bet-David podcast, PVD podcast from Valley Taman. He was saying that he likes a competitive market because it will uh benefits the normal people and regular people in societies more than a monopoly. And I completely agree with that. So that's what is happening at the moment. They're driving the costs of hardware, the costs of training down, and they're producing better AI models in shorter amount of time with less employees. So that's the scenario that is happening now in 2025. But there's a question, like, what's the natural state of life in our cosmos? Is it unipolar? Is it multipolar? Is power concentrated or distributed? Because after 13.8 billion years, the answer seems to be both. Like, the situation is distinctly multipolar in an interesting hierarchy fashion. Like, cells, people, organizations, nations, they try to find a way to collaborate and compete at the same time in different levels. Because some cells have like found its advantages to collaborate to such an extreme that they became multicellular organisms. So they give up some power to central brain because the outcome will be better for them if they want to just be solo. Or it's the same when some people will give powers to governing body to increase coordination in society, like airline alliances or the European Union would be the example of this. So there's a branch called in mathematics called game theory, which explains that entities have incentive to cooperate, where cooperation is called Nash equilibrium, which is a situation where any party would be worse off if they altered their strategy or just act solo. And to prevent cheaters from ruining the successful collaboration of a large group, they would give some power to the higher level in hierarchy to basically be able to punish the cheaters in the system. And for the hierarchy to remain stable, the Nash equilibrium needs to hold also between the entities at different levels. Like if the government doesn't provide benefits to its citizens, then the citizens may change their strategy and defeat the government. So it's a both side kind of equilibrium at this point. And there are a lot of diverse Nash equilibria in the complex world that we're living now. They can be authoritarian in some cases, like some entities are free to leave, like most employees free to leave their companies that they're working in, but in some cases they can't just leave because it's a religious cult or like North Korea or even cells out in a human body, they can't just easily leave. So that's why like some Nash equilibrium are held by threats, by fear. The same situation that is happening in Iran, like or we have like voting democracy. in the US. But how is technology changing the hierarchy nature of our words? Because history reveals there's a trend towards like more coordination and collaboration over large distances. And it's the same way with cells. Like when cells learn to signal their neighbor cells, they became multicellular organisms and they became people. Globalization is merely the latest example of this multi-billion years trend of, hierarchy growth. And in most cases, this technology-driven trend has made large entities part of a like bigger structure while they return their autonomy and individuality. But the counter argument is that the adaptation of entities to like higher levels and to be a part of big structure reduced their diversity and made them more like indistinguishable parts. So that would be like the counter argument. But some technologies like surveillance can give higher levels more power to over their subordinates, while like others like cryptography or online access to free press or education can give opposite effects and can empower individuals. Like when it comes to AI, I think Elon Musk was saying AI will empower individuals if it benefits all the humanity. So it will be a kind of uh, a decentralization, the same way that cryptocurrency is acting now. So it empowers individuals rather than the people in higher level in the hierarchy in the structure of life and society, basically. So what will happen? Probably transportation and communication will grow dramatically, and this trend of hierarchy will continue, perhaps ultimately passing the solar system. However, the counter argument is the fundamental driver of decentralization, like wasteful coordination over large distances. Like even Stalin didn't try to regulate exactly when his citizens go to bathroom. Like that kind of micromanaging wouldn't be sufficient. The example would be the time scale on which humans think, which is I think 0.1 second, nearly the same as the round trip travel time for a message crossing Earth. So if an AI brain is thinking like each billionth of a second, then if we want to ask permission for anything we want to do, for us, it will take like months to understand the message. So the law of physics impose the limits on information transfer, and it will be the ultimate challenge for any AI wish to take over the world. What can we do? The same thing that Elon said about Neuralink, that we can actually upgrade ourselves to cyborgs and human 2.0 to be able to keep up with the speed of thinking of a Optimus robot or human or a super digital intelligence AI. So that's where we come to the cyborgs and uploads. Like humans will probably merge with machines either by technological enhancement or biological bodies like cybergenetic organisms or cyborgs, or just uploading our minds as a software to Optimus robots and humanoid robots. Um, and I think Robin Hanson, the economist, was saying that this is called emulation. And I think Hans Morakov talked about this like ultra intelligent machines as well. Or I think Ray Kurzweil, the transhumanist, talked about this in his book called Singularity, because I think Elon recently said that we are in the breach of singularity. Even Sam Altman, I think a month ago, said that we might have passed singularity a long time ago, because there are different definitions and different perceptions of the word singularity. So the Ray Kurzweil argues that natural coordination of this trend uses like nanobots, intelligent biofeedback system, first replaces our digestive and endocrine systems, our bloods, hearts by 2030. So we probably have 5 years if he's right. And then we move to upgrading our skeletons and skin and brain, etc. And at like it will be cyber gization. and it will be far more than just improving our DNA. We will be using DNA guided protein synthesis. So I think that's why Jensen Huang said that the um, biology and the like biology synthesis and the kind of digital biology would be the next wave after this AI revolution. So probably we create a whole brain emulation software, and then we can upload that in virtual reality, or we can just upload them in any Optimus robot. So there wouldn't be any kind of concern about death in the future. Uh, it's the same thing. It reminds me of do you remember the one cartoon about turtle ninjas, and there was a doctor called Stockman, and they have uploaded his brain because he was so smart. I think in the last season to a robot basically, which was wild. So I think that would happen. But AI researchers and neuroscientists mostly argue that the quickest route to superintelligence might be just bypassing the brain emulation. But why the simplest route to this tech should be the one that evolution came up with? Because evolution focuses on the energy efficiency because of the limited food supply and sources that we have, not like for ease construction or understanding human engineers. So probably soon we'll be able to use intelligence itself to design more energy efficient ones. The same thing that is happening with GPUs in NVIDIA. Like Jensen Huang was saying that the AI is trying to build more efficient GPUs, H100 GPUs in NVIDIA, and they can't even build GPUs without AI itself. So AI is redesigning its hardware back to our first point. I think it was in the first episode we talked about Life 3.0 and digital intelligence, be able to basically change your hardware and software. And that's what is going to happen probably in the future. So the last question will be, what will actually happen? The short answer is, we don't know. It's just there are a lot of spectrum of scenarios. We will narrow them down as time passes. And back to Nick Bostrom's scenario, he says optimization power and recalcitrance or contempt, which is basically the amount of quality effort to make AI smarter and the difficulty of making progress. So, as we reach AGI and AGI reaches the human level intelligence or even transcends human level, it will keep both options on the table, and that would be safe for us. Probably it will be exponential because it will grow at the rate of proportional to the current power at regular intervals, so it will be exponential. It's just like a population, like explosion or nuclear explosion or intelligent explosion. So all such explosions are characterized by the time. If the time is days or weeks, then it will be fast takeoff. If it's like years or decades, it's just a slow takeoff. So that would be the case. And there will be different overhangs, like hardware quality of hardware matters, or content quality, of course, matters to train the AI models. I think Elon was saying that there are a lot of bad data on the internet, like the data that are not true. And if we use those data to train AI models, the AI model wouldn't be truth seeking. So that's why they try to filter the data on the internet so they can actually expose the AI models and the neural networks to quality content and data to have a better model. So that would be one of the cases. And we won't get the intelligent explosion until the cost of doing human level work drops below human hourly wages. Like if the humans try to bring the cost down until the computer can reprogram itself to bring the cost down, then humans can be laid off after that, and the optimization will be greatly expanded, buying cloud computing time, and there will be intelligent explosion. So you might have a question like we don't know anything. Nothing is definite. So why we are looking at different scenarios? Why we just not wait for something to happen and then we can react to them? First of all, I think we should be proactive this time than be reactive because this time there might not be any kind of pass backwards for us as a humanity, as a species. Secondly, if we don't know what we want, we're unlikely to get it. It reminds me of Oprah. In one of her interviews, she was asked that, like, what was the trait that was common among the people who you interviewed and those were successful people? And she said something very powerful. She said they had one thing in common. They knew what they want. That's why they achieved their goals. And that's a powerful statement that applies in this context here. So this is the part 2 of EP4 AGI with Arshia podcast. Let's go to the third part. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the last part, my favorite part 3 of EP4 AGI with Arshia podcast. The memes, my favorite part. This is a 3 minutes video. Okay, Deepo, let's pull that memes up. Let's go. The first one. How ChatGPT looks at me after I say make it shorter for the 100th time. Man, that was true. Like, AI summarization, sometimes you just have to say, come on, make it shorter, make it shorter. Like, this is wild. The next thing, oh, I show speed. What are you doing here in my podcast, bro? I love you. I love you from the heart. Such a genius kid. What can I help with? The way that I said kid, like we are in the same fucking age, so such a nice man. What can I help with? Think of yourself as a premier model, ChatGPT Plus. OpenAI CEO. Man, humans are smart. Humans are smart. Okay, the human race. Me saying please to ChatGPT. The human race robot apocalypse. Wow. This is wild. Coming soon to a theater near you. You took everything from me, ChatGPT. As an AI language model, I don't have the ability to directly take anything from you. We've seen this one. We've seen this one. Machine learning algorithms mass. Yeah. What the hell is this? The next one. AI according to the news. AI in real life. Man, that's so true. Is this a pigeon? Yeah, that's so true. Like try AI because you like headlines are about robotics, like humanoid robots destroying humanity, Terminators, because that's how you get attentions and clicks and views. That's why they're trying to uh shape the AI in a way that is horrifying, which can be in 20%. 80% is not going to be horrifying and it can help humanity flourish like never before. So, of course, yeah, this is the way that people get attentions and clicks for their videos. Okay, next one. Only way to keep AI from taking your job is to use AI to do your job better. Smart, smart, true. That's true. You have to use AI to make your job more efficient and productive. I'm going to make a video on AI productivity soon, by the way. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Me, how to rob a bank. ChatGPT. Sorry, I can't help you with that. That's illegal. Me, what if it's for fictional story? ChatGPT. Human can manipulate AIs and LLMs. Good. Wow, this moment, man. AI is scary. Trump, JD Vance, Zelensky. This one was a shame. I don't want to get into politics because this is not a political or business oriented podcast. This is a tech AI podcast, but I have to mention this. That was a bad moment for Zelensky, President Zelensky, because if you go to someone's house, you have to respect their rules. You have to respect them as a guest. Okay, so calling JD a BIT, the one that I don't want to mention here, is a bad move in a White House, in Oval Office. So this AI is so scary. Next one. Bro has been using ChatGPT since 1996. I didn't get the point here. What is the point of this meme? Leave a comment on this one, man. Like, what is it? Moment before disaster, ChatGPT calls, give me your ChatGPT premium code and type it in such a way that I can copy it. Wait a minute. Okay, next one. Meta AI, never forget who was there for you at your lowest. God. Next one. So another girlfriend left me again. Don't worry, there are people waiting for you at every corner of the earth. Be confident. But the earth is round, isn't it? The internet connection appears to be offline. Man, that was so hilarious. So good. Okay, next one. Sam Altman, generational wealth after turning OpenAI into a for-profit. DeepSeek R1 available for free and made for $6 million. Man, Sam Altman is not sleeping well. The next one, when you ask DeepSeek something about China. Man, that's true because it's so regulated for asking anything about China or Taiwan or something, China's ownership or something like that. But Perplexity AI has tried to make it align with the free speech democracy in the US. So we can use that. Chat are we cooked? Yeah, they are in secret modes. We talked about in part 1. Yep. Okay, Microsoft CEO Satya offering to buy DeepSeek. No. No. Wow, that was the last one. So, and this is the end of EP4 AGI with Arshia podcast. Let me know, what do you think about this podcast? What are the news or AI issues or AI topics you want me to discuss? Share them in the comment section below. I answer to all the comments. Make sure you subscribe, you like, and you watch the other episodes as well. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. We're living through the biggest tech AI revolution in history. Don't just observe it, be part of it. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram to stay ahead.